We are heading into the Little Aturi Forest, which is home to a lot of animals that like to use their natural camouflage to help them hide from predators and from us. So you're really going to want to look for movement within the bushes here. Over on the right hand side, that dark brown animal with those black and white stripes on its legs, that is an okapi. A lot of people think it's related to the zebra the first time they see it, but in actuality, it is the only known relative of the giraffe. And if you look back there against the wall, there's an almost black animal with a stripe on its back. That is a yellow-backed duiker. It gets its name from the Afrikaans word duiker, meaning diver, in reference to the way that when it is frightened, it jumps into the air and dives right into the bushes. Now, unfortunately, a lot of animals that live in habitats similar to the Little Aturi Forest are facing a lot of habitat destruction due to deforestation. So one of the simple ways you can help and be friends to these animals is by recycling your paper products. It's a simple thing that quite literally means the world to these animals. Now over on your left-hand side, walking up in the back there is a black rhinoceros. It's kind of hard to spot through the trees, but he is walking around back up there. He can grow to be about 3,000 pounds and charge at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour. There's actually another one laying down right over here. They're pretty solitary during the day. However, at nighttime they do become more social. They use the nighttime for courtship purposes. Over on the left-hand side, up on the hill here, these dark brown animals, these are bongo. Bongo are also known as the ghosts of the forest due to the fact that they're very rarely seen. They have those horns on their head that go straight back. They evolved to be that way, so that helps them as they're running through the underbrush, provides little to no resistance, and in fact even pushes some of the brushes out of the way. Now we are heading out of the Little Aturi Forest and into the next area of the reserve, known as the Safi River. Safi River is home to one of the largest and one of the most dangerous animals in all of Africa, the Nile hippopotamus. The Nile hippopotamus can grow to be 5,500 pounds and is extremely territorial. They'll spend almost the entire day underwater. They can stay underwater for about 8 minutes at a time before needing to come up for air. They'll come out of the water at nighttime to forage for food, as they are primarily plant eaters. What you're going to want to look for here are their backs and ears sticking up out of the water. On the left-hand side, these white and gray birds, these are pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from the pinkish color they develop on their backs during the mating season. They're very social birds. They'll often nest in groups of about 20 to 500.
That's quite a range. You guys sound so weird.
Yes. There's a few of them in the area. A lot of explorers like to come over here in the reserve. Speaking of which, if I have any wilderness explorers aboard my truck today, this is the Simba 1. You're going to need that for your handbook. Over on the left-hand side of the bridge, we have some Nile crocodile. Nile crocodile can grow to be 16 feet long and will often catch prey much larger than themselves, such as zebra or antelope. They are cold-blooded animals, so they'll spend almost their entire day just laying out in the sun. We're heading out of the Safi River now, and on to the next area of the reserve, known as the savannah. The savannah is one of the parts of Africa that we are working extremely hard to help protect, as it is in severe danger due to mining practices. As you come around the corner on the right-hand side, you're going to see a real funky-looking tree. This is a baobab tree. Baobab tree, otherwise known as the upside-down tree, named after the way that its branches kind of look like roots sticking up into the air. This tree can hold up to about 2,000 gallons of water. Elephants will use their tusks to strip the bark and eat it to get the moisture held inside. It remains leafless for about 9 months out of the year. only gaining leaves during the rainy season. Now as we come around the overlook of the savannah here, it does look like there are quite a large amount of animals here on the savannah. Since there's such a dense population, I'm not always going to be able to stop here so we don't spook the animals. But I am going to go as slow by them as I can, so you're going to want to have those cameras out and ready.
That was our favorite.
Now on the right hand side here, we are going to have a Maasai giraffe. Giraffe can grow to be about 20 feet tall. I do need everyone to stay fully seated for me. Something spooky. They can stand at about 20 feet tall, fully grown, 6 feet when they're first born. Those massively long necks, something that's quite amazing is that we actually have the same amount of vertebrae in our neck that they do in theirs. Now those spotted coats are all unique, just like our fingerprints. Looks like we are coming up to a cave system here. So we're going to take a swing on by, see if anything has taken residence during that latest rainstorm we just had. Let's see here. It does look like there is some spotted hyena off to your left.
But I can see some over there, Jax.
The spotted hyena are a matriarchal bunch. The lowest ranking female is highest than the highest ranking male. A lot of people think of hyenas as scavengers, but they catch most of their own prey. Another common misconception about hyenas is that they're similar to dogs or part of the canid family, but that's simply not true. They have their very own family, Hyenidae. Over on the left-hand side, these are some sable antelope. Those long, sharp horns serve quite a practical purpose, as they aid in deterring larger predators such as lions from jumping on their backs. Now up on the hill on the left, those tan antelope, those are Patterson's eland. They are the largest species of antelope we have on the reserve. Fully grown male Patterson's eland will weigh about 2,000 pounds and stand 6 feet at the shoulder. These are both females, as you can tell by the horns. The horns are much shorter on the females than the males. Now we're going to have some more giraffe on either side, including a much smaller giraffe. Looks like it's quite young over on the right-hand side. Now, unfortunately, with these Maasai giraffes, there are only about 32,000 of them left in the wild. So we're doing everything we can to help preserve them. On the left-hand side, this massive brown animal with the huge white horns, these are Ankoli cattle. They're otherwise known as Watusi cattle, named after the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them. They're the only domesticated animals we have on the reserve. Those horns can be 5 to 6 feet long, filled with a honeycomb-like structure, and blood vessels. They pump blood up and down the horns to help cool down their bodies.
Look at him, he's right there. What's a big dude?
The Watusi tribe, as I mentioned, the ones that first domesticated them, they actually hold immense value within them. Treat them as a symbol of wealth. Yes, the animals here do always have the right of way. As this is their home, we are simply visiting it. The gray animals off in the distance, those are white-bearded wildebeest. They're part of the largest mammal migration in all of Africa, with over 1 million of them migrating every single year. They are the second most densely packed herd of mammals in the entire world. Only behind us humans, of course. When baby wildebeest are born, they'll often have the birth at night to help protect it from predators, and a baby wildebeest will learn to walk within 15 minutes.
Crossing around.
Yeah.
They sure like to cross.
Now back on the topic of those Maasai giraffes we saw back there, their tongues are can grow to be about 20 inches long. And if you've ever seen one, they're a dark blue, almost purplish color. Well, that's because they spend so much time out of their mouths that if they were any lighter color, they'd actually get sunburned. Looks like there's a knockdown tree over here. That does bode well for us seeing some elephants. Elephants will often knock down trees to eat the leaves that are at the top. Looks like I see some mandrill monkeys over on the left-hand side here. Now, when other species are around, mandrill monkeys usually get really shy, so you want to try and be nice and quiet around them.
That's an elephant. Over there, it's a baby.
Now, mandrill males have those blue and red markings on their faces. But actually, when they get excited, those colors actually intensify. Looks like this bridge fell in earlier today. That's probably why they had to close the road. That's a shame. I used to like to go that way. Oh, looks like there's an elephant back there. I would have to guess it's a male, not just judging by its size, but the fact that it is all alone. As when elephants reach the age of maturity at age 15, male elephants will leave the herd and go off to live by themselves, while the female elephants stay behind, start a family of their own. Elephants have the second latest age of maturity for any mammal, only after us humans, of course. Oh man, this bridge is in real bad shape. Just hold together. Okay. Woo. Let's get out of here.
Thank God.
We are heading into some red clay pits now. A lot of elephants will eat red clay. Oh, look at that. There are actually some tusk marks in the clay here. These are tusks to dig out the clay, then they'll eat it. Add some valuable minerals into their diet. Looks like there is some elephants over there, so we're going to try and swing around and see if we can get a better view of them. On the topic of tusks, unfortunately, over 90 elephants a day are poached for their tusks. You might be wondering what you can do to help. Well, one of the simplest things you can do is actually just by speaking with your wallet, and that doesn't necessarily mean donating. I mean simply by refusing to buy items that contain ivory within them. You can send a message to the poachers that it's not something we need anymore. And hopefully we can stop the poaching of these wonderful animals, and they can start to thrive once again. There they are. There's some elephants off to the left there. Now, these African elephants actually share a lot of similarities to us humans. They have very sensitive skin, similar to us, and actually, they use sunscreen. If you've ever seen an elephant pick up dirt and throw it onto their back, that's not to cool themselves down, that's to create a form of sunscreen that coats their back, because their skin is incredibly sensitive. Another similarity we share is that we both give our young curfews. During the day, a young elephant will mingle throughout the herd, as the herd is mostly made out of cousins and aunts. However, at nighttime, baby elephants know that they have to return to their mamas. Another elephant right over the hill to your left there. Looks like we have some greater flamingo here. Greater flamingo are the lightest pink of all the flamingo species. When they're in a big group like this, it's called the flamboyance of flamingo. When they're first hatched, they actually have a grayish color to them. However, after about a year to a year and a half of eating brine shrimp in their diet, which contains something named beta-carotene, their feathers turn pink. They're crossing over to the eastern side of the savannah here. Looks like there's a zebra over there to our left. Now when people first see zebra, they always ask me, black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Well, there actually is a way to find out. You actually just look at their noses. Their noses are in fact their base color. These noses are black, meaning that they are black with white stripes. Those stripes actually go all the way down to their skin, not just their fur. And these zebra have a hind kick so powerful they can actually break an attacking lion's jaw. Looks like there's a couple of them up there grazing away. As we come around the corner here, we are coming up to a Kobe rock formation. And it looks like there is a water buck here. You can always tell a water buck because they have those distinctive white rings right around their tails. Water buck, as their name implies. These water buck always make their home near water, and they drink quite an unusually large amount of water for an antelope compared to the other antelope species. If their fur looks a little damp, that's probably because they actually just dip themselves into water. You see, if a water buck gets scared or the slightest bit frightened, it actually dips itself into water, which coats its fur in this thin film, which then secretes this awful, horrible smell. And the smell is so bad that predators will usually back away. It's actually one of the few mammals that uses scent as a defense. Similar to the skunk that we all know and not love. Over to the right, those are some ostrich. They are the largest flightless birds, even though they have those massive wings. They use those wings to help themselves turn as they're running at speeds of up to 40 miles an hour. While they're running at those speeds, a single stride will take them about 13 feet. Looks like we have some thunderstorms rolling in, so I'm gonna have it try and drop you guys off back at the warnings post before the storm hits. Over on the left, we have warthog and warthog burrows. Looks like there is a white rhinoceros up ahead blocking the road, so we're just gonna be here for just a moment. These warthogs are the largest burrowing mammal. They use their sharp tusks and hooves to help dig these burrows into the dirt here. Anytime they go within the burrows, they'll always back into them. That way, if a predator looks inside, the first thing they see are those razor sharp tusks.
Warthog.
And here's that white rhinoceros over on the right hand side here.
You were right.
It's much larger than the black rhinoceros we saw earlier. This white rhinoceros can grow to be 5,000 pounds. Unfortunately, both the white and black rhinoceros are poached for their horn, which is actually just made out of keratin, which is exactly what your fingernails are made out of. Now you might be wondering, Sean, why is it called a white rhinoceros? It's clearly not white. Well, that's because it actually got its name from a mistranslation. The locals called it a vite rhino, V-I-T-E, vite meaning wide, in reference to their wide mouths. But when Dutch settlers came through, they thought they were saying white, and, well, the name just stuck. As we cross over this bridge, we are heading into the Magadi Glen, which is the newest area of our reserve, which is only made possible by some extremely generous donations, which we're thankful for every single day for helping us give these animals a home. On the right hand side here, these white birds with the black under their wings, these are yellow-billed storks. They have a wingspan of about 5 feet, and when they're first born they only weigh about 2 ounces. However, they eat so much in the first 10 days of life that they grow from 2 ounces to 12 ounces in just 10 days. Now unfortunately, these gates here do mean that we have reached the end of our safari today. And I'm sure many of you are wondering what you can do to best help out these animals. Well, as I mentioned, recycling your paper products is extremely important. But right along with that is actually recycling your electronics. A lot of the animals that lived on the savannah live in an area that's rich in a mineral called coltan. Coltan is used in our electronics and is part of what makes it so small and powerful. So by recycling your electronics, you're helping to reduce our need for coltan. helping to slow habitat destruction for these animals. But if you're looking for a way that you can help even while you're here on vacation, you can stop by any one of Animal Kingdom's merchandise locations and make a donation to the Disney Conservation Fund. Any money you donate will be matched by Disney, dollar for dollar and penny for penny. Disney also pays the administrative fees for the Disney Conservation Fund, so that whatever you folks donate goes 100% to helping out these animals. Now we have reached the gates of the village, which normally mean I would be dropping you off at the nearest warden's post, but instead I'm just going to be dropping you guys off right where it picked you up. While you're here in Harambe today, I do have a recommendation, and it's that you check out the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Has a few animals you didn't get to see today, as well as some you already did. A few animals you didn't see, such as meerkats, naked mole rats, some different birds, some monkeys, and two different troops of gorillas.